My name is Laurent Schnetter. I am ACSAFE Training and Export Manager and also an IRATA Assessor, Supervisor and Trainer. Working with power ascenders belongs to rope access techniques. Many countries have own legal requirements concerning rope access, so please contact your local HSE for further information. Rope access might be an hazardous activity, and only proper training and appropriate supervision can make it safe and reliable. It's not ACSAFE's responsibility to train you on basic rope access techniques. The purpose of this video is to explain how to use safely power ascenders. We at ACSAFE support the IRATA standards, which means the standards of the International Industrial Rope Access Trade Association. Generally speaking, industrial rope access is based on a two independent rope system, which means a working rope and a backup rope, and this at any time. First requirement before working with power ascenders is to wear the proper harness. This harness is made for rope access activities. It is made out of two parts. One lower part below the center of gravity, including the lower D-ring, are dedicated to positioning device, including power ascenders. Backup device or forest device are connected to the upper ring or loop of the harness. Another requirement is to wear a proper helmet with chin strap. Another important part of the equipment concerns the ropes. All the ropes used on rope access are low stretch ropes and all certified to a European standard called EN 1891 type A. The best suitable diameter to use with power ascender is between 10.5 and 11 millimeters. But there are also many different ropes on the market, soft ropes or harder ropes, and you should always try at low level for compatibility with the power ascender. Dynamic ropes used for climbing or mountaineering are not suitable for the use with power ascenders and generally speaking for rope access activities. Should you have any question about rope and compatibility, you can ask us directly. Every single rope should be marked at rope ends to be identified. On this sticker, we should find the batch number, the individual number, as well as the length of the rope. Should you bag a rope, never forget to connect with a knot the end of the rope to the bag. One of the most important points in rope access is to rig the rope properly. We always use two separate anchors, and the minimum breaking load of each anchor should be 15 kilonewton, or it means more or less 1.5 ton. Every single rope is connected to both anchors. This is a bunny ears knot, and it can be used for close anchors. And because we are working with a working and a backup rope, we connect also the backup rope in the same anchors. And now we have our two-rope system ready to use. For wider anchors, another possibility is to rig with a Y-hang. It consists of figure-of-8 knot and a butterfly knot. And this is how it looks with our two-rope system. Another key point is that every work should be risk assessed with an appropriate work statement, including rescue planning. One of the rescue possibilities is to rig for rescue with releasable anchors. It means that the ropes are not connected to the anchors with knots, but in two industrial descenders. This system allows to lower a technician from the top at any time at ground level. In some situations, we need to lift a person because it's not possible to lower them. For that scenario, we can use the PME as an anchor. The working rope is connected to the winch and the backup rope to an industrial descender. In case of emergency, we just can start the PME and lift the technician. This is an ACC second generation battery operated power ascender. It can be used with or without remote control. Variable speed, able to both ascent and descent. The ACC is an obvious choice for most rope access applications. It is a competitive alternative to scaffolding, skylift, and powered platforms. One of the core parts of the ACC power ascender is a battery pack. It is a lithium-ion high-current battery, so please first read carefully the safety notice concerning this kind of battery. The charging time is about 4 hours for a full load. We recommend to recharge always a battery at 100%. What will happen if you don't do so? The battery indicator of the winch will show an incorrect value. To charge the battery, first plug the battery to the charger and then connect to the power supply. The LED on the charger will turn to orange, and then after about 1 hour or 80% of charge will turn to yellow, and finally to green after a full charge or 4 hours. After charging, first disconnect from power supply and then disconnect the battery from the charger. The battery is now ready to be used. To connect the battery to the ACC, insert the battery pack to its pocket and connect the battery to the plug. After this is done, you can switch on and control the LED indicator of the battery. If you need to store the ACC for a longer time, we recommend to disconnect the battery. Before going on ropes, be sure you are using a fully charged battery. Check the connector, the sling, and the rope grab system, and then a functional test of the winch. Moving up, down, and also control the function of the safety switch on the side. So we are now ready to install the rope into the winch. First, be sure that the winch is switched off. Then you open the rope protector and just check that the rope grab has no dirt. You can introduce now the rope through the loop and around the rope grab. The free end of the rope always on the same side as the control panel of the winch. Close the rope cover You can now switch on the ACC and carry out the functional test. Just be sure that the rope coming from the anchors go through the rope grab, following the arrows and going out on the side of the control panel. If you install the rope on the wrong way, it will not be possible to carry out the lifting test. The technician is now ready to go on ropes. We first carry out a check of his harness, connecting carabiners, buckles, and control that is properly adjusted. As a next step, we install the backup device on the backup rope and check for proper function. Then we can lift the winch at the height of his harness, connect the winch to the harness, put the system on the tension, and before leaving ground, check again all connectors. It's important not to hold this rope with a hand. So he is now ready to move on the ropes. What to do if you run out of battery? The ACC is equipped with an emergency descender, and as the name says, it is only for emergency use and not to save battery. So insert a pin into the hole of the descender, grab the free end of the working rope and adjust your speed by pushing on a pin. In case of emergency, I can activate or wake up the system from the ground with a remote control by pressing the central button. And I can lower or lift a person with two different speeds. Or lift. Pushing any button of the receiver activates the remote control system. Select the down speed function with the right button. Select the up speed function with the left button. Press once for half speed or press twice for full speed. And use the central button to run the ascender. When the receiver is on, the ascender can only be operated over the remote system. Another setup to connect the winch to the technician's harness is to use a quick draw, a minor rapid, and a small rigging plate. In that configuration, the winch is maintained in a very high position, which makes work for the technician much easier. Another advantage is to connect the backup device to the rigging plate. The advantage is that the backup device is maintained at any time in a high position, and it reduces an eventual fall factor on it. When approaching a knot, like a belay or an anchor, it's important to keep a safety distance to the knot at any time. It will avoid this knot to go through the loop and damage it and also the rope grab. This is a PME, the hard-working and high lifting capacity winch from AgSafe. It is suitable for rescues, remote locations, geotech works and many other applications. Before using the winch, you should carry out a pre-use check. First, control that the fuel tank is full. And also do the same for the oil tank. Also ensure that the descender and the rescue kit and changeover kit is on board. You should also control the rope grab system, the sling, and the carabiner. To start the engine, first check that the switch is on. Then pull up the choke. Gently pump 3 or 4 times. You can now start the winch and wait for the first ignition. Then switch off the choke and start again. To install the rope in the winch, first open the rope cover, control that there is no dirt in the rope grab, gently tension the rope coming from the anchor, insert the rope through the loop and around the rope grab, close the rope cover, and ensure that the free end of the rope is on the accelerator side. Before going on a rope, we first carry out a body check on the technician, starting with the helmet and the harness. Now install the backup device on the backup rope. And also do a function test of the backup device before connecting it to the sternal point of the harness. You can now start the winch and lift it at waist height. The winch can be connected now at the lower deep ring of the harness. This technician wants now to change over from Ascent to Descent mode. So first thing, he takes his backup device and locked it in a high position. As a second step, he will back up the winch and measure the rope length to his knee and put this rope into the descender. It is important that he close the descender. He can now install the changeover system . And this system will be installed on the winch rope. Connect now the red sling to its lower point of the harness, the same ring as the descender and the winch, and bring the red sling under tension. The next step is to open the rope cover, to take the rope out and bring it at 6 hours, and then 9 hours, and to take the rope completely off the rope grab. The best way now is to put the winch over the left leg. Can take now the slack of rope in the descender and tension the rope. Use a foot loop to ascend about 10 centimeters. And now it's possible to release the changeover system. The next step is to unlock the backup device and to start the descent. There is an alternative method to change over from ascent to descent mode. First, put the descender under the backup device and tension the slack of rope. Don't forget to close your descender. Remove the backup device and bring it on the winch rope over the winch. For this maneuver, you don't need the red quick draw, only the rope clamp and the foot loop. Install